Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Film Line Reviews podcast. We are back. Hopefully we'll get back into the swing of things and we'll be able to podcast and blog more. But in the meantime, let's talk about this episode. This episode is about Don't Worry, Darling and the Munsters. And I'm very happy to announce we have a new co-host. Her name is Lissa. She's great. We have really good discussions about the movies in this episode. So sit back, relax, make some popcorn, and let's talk about Don't Worry, Darling. And yes, there will be spoilers. So if you haven't seen either of these movies, please stop listening, go watch them, and come back.
So I was just watching the part where, like, he's leaving for work. When I went to
I saw it. I saw that, yeah.
And she's like, no, you can't go. I'm going to make you call in sick or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Well, has he ever called in sick before? Because what would happen if he called in sick?
I don't think they would get sick in a virtual world.
No, but, like, well, then you really can't call in sick.
Unless he got sick in real life.
Right, well, but what I was thinking was, like, in the virtual world, for him to stay home with her and fake being sick, he would not be able to go into the real world and take care of her.
Right.
So would he ever actually call in sick?
I don't know.
And, like, what would the consequences of that be if he did?
I don't know. Make a book series, The Day-to-Day Life of Jack and Alice.
I want to know his side. I want to see his side now. I really do. I want to see what he does from his point of view, and then just going back in.
Yeah. Like, what was
Spoilers.
the job? What was the job that he had to do to support her that he hated in order to let them live in that virtual world?
Because I don't think it was working for the company. Or maybe it was, but...
I don't know. It's... Because he looks more disheveled while talking to the company later, while they're doing, like, the Jack Crawford or whatever. Because he looks way different there than he does when he's first listening to the Victory thing online. So
he's, like, really long-haired, scruffy.
And that's usually what... And that's where... Yeah, that's where he looked when he was already in that world, because she was already in the bed when he came home to eat the tuna.
So he wouldn't be able to... Oh, he was eating tuna?
Out of the can.
Oh, yeah. So he wouldn't be able to have a regular job because you can't look like shit, necessarily.
Yeah, but he's like, but I have to go out and work, and I hate it just to support it because you're happy.
He has Victory.
Yeah. But you would think that they would be like, well, there's more of a chance of it leaking out of what's happening in Victory if they had to leave and work. So maybe he is working for Victory just from home, and they're just keeping constant contact with him because of that, and that's what it is.
That makes sense. Why did he bring the flowers?
Because he treats her, because he gave them to her.
But she's in a coma.
But it's still his wife. He still loves her.
Still wants the ambiance to be
Yeah,
nice.
he still wants her to know that he's in love with her. He brings her the flowers. She's just in a coma state and
dead forever now.
Well, and something. I don't know. I don't know. It would be interesting. I don't think everything needs a sequel or a prequel or a continuation, but it would be interesting to see what happened to her. But I think that's why I like the ending so much, is because it's ambiguous. Like, you don't know what happened, and you can kind of infer. Go, well, I think she survived, and that's fine. But then someone else could be like, well, I think she's dead, and then that's their ending, and that's fine.
There's kind of no way either way, she's waking up into a horror faction. Like, I guess that's the right word.
Well, and she's going to have to figure out what to do with his body.
Yeah.
Because he's dead.
Yeah, without looking like she murdered him.
Yeah.
And then she has to, like,
get
out of these. Oh, God. She's waking up, chained up, next to his dead body.
Yeah. I still don't understand how the concept of... I mean, I get the whole... I mean, unless they're hooked up to some sort of device that if they died in that world, it, like, immediately kills them, sort of thing. But I just don't understand how dying in, like, a virtual world would really do that.
So this is what I was thinking, because I was actually going to bring that up for this discussion. You know how, like, I keep referring to, she specifically says the men die in this universe, or this world, or this
If
the men can die here.
Yeah, if
and
they
then
die here, then
she also
they're...
says to her, they're going to kill your real body, meaning, like, if you die here, you're fine. I was thinking because the dudes leave and the girls stay, their brains are more in tune with the world. So they wouldn't die necessarily because they're, like, there all the time. But because the guys have to unhook and leave, their brains are constantly being tapped in, so their brains aren't used to being there.
Maybe.
So maybe that's, like, what makes them
I just think
able
it's...
to die. Because they're more connected to the real world than the girls are. Well, than most of the girls are.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think
Bunny doesn't leave, even though she knows about it. She still doesn't leave the world. She still stays.
I just think it's a loophole. Like, I think it's too big of a loophole because it's like, if the men can die, the women would have to be able to die.
I just don't get the point of specifying, the men die here, and then saying they're going to kill your real body.
Maybe it was just the way she phrased it.
And maybe,
maybe she more meant, a man, like, maybe it's more like, if they die here, if he dies here, he dies in real life.
And usually movies would say that if that's what they meant.
I don't know. Well, as we've learned, this movie isn't necessarily the most... I mean, it's good. It's just not every hole has been looped.
There's a lot of loose ends.
Yeah.
I mean, that don't necessarily make it bad, but...
No, it's just there's a lot of unanswered questions. And maybe the phrasing came from a different cut. Right. And they cut out the whole scene where they talked about
and
that.
And then that's what we don't know.
But
like,
we just don't know it.
DVD, we'll get, like, the... What's it called?
Well, you will, because I don't buy physical media.
I'm buying it, and I'm going to watch all the special features, because I
don't buy physical media.
A lot of people don't like this movie, though. Like,
I know, and a lot of people, I think it's because, this is going to sound bad, I just don't think they have the mental capacity to think about it.
It's not made for them.
Like, some people don't like The Matrix just because they strictly don't get it.
Yeah. Right.
And it's not because anything's wrong with The Matrix. It's just, they're like, I just don't get it. It's too much to think about. I think this movie is just a lot for people to think about. And then they were like, I don't want to think in a movie. Yeah. So they shut off.
But you don't necessarily have to think. It's just the unanswered questions probably piss a lot of people off. I don't know. I think a lot of people also let the drama overshadow it.
Yeah.
So they're like, well, it wasn't worth the drama shit.
And a lot of people are dogging on Harry. They're like, he should quit his day. He shouldn't quit his day job. He's a better singer than actor. Okay, but this is also his third movie he's done.
Is it his third?
It's his third, if you count
Marvel,
at the end of it.
But that's it. That was like 2 seconds.
That was 2 seconds, and he did really well in that too. I think he really played that whole, like, I'm a pretty playboy, and I'm here to like save the world.
Is that his name, Star Fox?
Yeah. I don't think it's Star Fox. That's Nintendo.
I'm pretty sure it's Star Fox. Or Starfire? No.
Starfire's Marvel.
I'm pretty sure it's Star Fox.
I'll look. Star Killer. Wait.
Starfire is DC.
I know, that's what I said.
You said Marvel.
Oh, sorry.
Wait till you rewind it. You're going to hear it. So one of the major things that I was reading about was people don't like his accent. And they're like, you do a terrible American accent. Well, I'm like, hold up. I think they don't understand that he's
actually not British.
Right. He's American in the movie playing a British dude. So his accent sucks on purpose, which in actuality makes him a good actor, not a shitty actor.
Yeah.
Because they're like...
It is Star Fox.
I told you.
Did they take that for Nintendo?
I don't know. But I told you it was Star Fox.
I don't think they took it from Nintendo. Did Nintendo take it from Marvel?
That's would have been how it would have went, because Star Fox would have been...
After.
Because it was a cartoon, or Star Fox would have been probably made in like the 50s or something, whenever Thanos was.
I like how I looked up Star Fox, or I looked up Arrows Marvel, and it's just pictures of Harry. Like, that's not what I really wanted, but thank you.
I really thought that I wouldn't be able to escape that he's a pop star in the movie, and I completely forgot that he was Harry Styles. But I'm also not obsessed with Harry Styles.
I, on the other hand, love Harry. But I also did.
Future baby daddy.
No. That's my future brother-in-law.
Oh,
I cannot have babies with that man.
It's your sister's future.
My sister will murder me.
She would.
No, I think it's just more... I kept like going, oh my God, I'm so proud of him, because he was doing really well.
I thought he did good too.
Like that scene in the car where he's screaming, like where she's screaming.
He's crying.
I was just like, no, like I don't know, maybe I connected to it more because it was Harry, so I was like, no, Harry's sad.
See, I could get over it. Like I was fine. I connected to it just him being an actor, like not being Harry Styles. So.
He has really, really good moments, and I think that that's another reason why this movie did pretty well for us, because it's like, you know, the script was there, because you know how I harp on scripts.
Yes.
Like, it could be pretty, but what about the script? Like, the script was good.
The cinematography was good.
The acting was good.
Really good.
The directing seems pretty good. I mean, we'll see if it was actually Olivia or Florence, I guess.
If it was Florence, good job, Flo.
Because
if it was Olivia, good job, Olivia. Like, whatever.
Yeah, it was a genuinely good movie. I liked it. I know a lot of people on TikTok also hated it.
I guess the part where he's screaming at her, I did this for you, so you could stay, or you could be happy, or whatever. People in the movie theater busted out laughing. And I'm like, I don't get, even being Harry Styles doing that part, I don't get why that would be
funny.
Yeah, and even if you're a Harry Styles fan and you couldn't, like, get over it, and to you it was cheesy, like, why?
It wasn't.
What kind of a fan are you?
Yeah, I didn't think that was cheesy at all. I think he really,
he embodied
I was like,
that. Shit,
and I think that, you know, he could have been playing off of, like, Florence, because she was feeling very hurt in that scene, and so he's, you know, I think they had a great chemistry too. I almost believe that they were in love.
Yeah.
I think
really.
I even looked at you and said, I kind of think they were banging.
It's kind of sad, because in the end, when you're like, oh man, like, now she's got to wake up and be in the
they
reality.
both genuinely loved each other, and they both had, like, their reasons for, like, he had his reason for wanting to keep her there, which was because he thought she was genuinely happy.
Kidnapping her part.
Yeah, he thought she was happier there. She didn't have to work as much, and she was just mad because she loves him so much. They could have worked it out, and he took that choice away from her.
I think she probably said no in the real world, but
and he knocked her out.
Yeah,
they kind of insinuate like that
in that world. Once they got in that world, I don't know if this sounds stupid, but if he would have maybe told her the truth when she was first losing her mind, like first thought she was losing her mind when her friend was sick and stuff.
Yeah.
If he would have kind of taken her aside and been like, "Hey, this is what's going on," I don't know that she would have.
I think she would have left.
You think so? I don't know.
I think she, as much as she seemed miserable, she still really liked being a doctor. She still really liked that. I think the problem was more just she got home from a 30-hour shift, had to go back in 6 hours. He hadn't eaten, and he made a comment about it.
And instead of taking care of himself, she was
that she had to still take care of him. Yeah.
Also, I don't think, though, the one thing that I do, and this isn't even anything about the movie itself, I don't think Harry, if it's true that he made more money than she did, she carries that movie. I mean, he does a really good job in it, but Florence, like, holy fuck, her acting.
Well, and if it is true that he made more money, then that was just genuinely wrong, because she did. Like, she is the star of that movie.
She's the star. She's the most in it. She does
Harry,
the most. Like,
I think in theory, like, Harry would be the one to pull the people in. But I don't think that's true. I don't think a lot of people were coming just strictly for Harry. Yeah. I think Florence has her own.
I thought that at first, too, until I realized that his fans are actually dogging on him for being in this movie.
I know, and I don't get it.
I'm sort of torn. Like, if my favorite pop star, my favorite artist, my favorite singer, whatever, was in a movie, I would go see the movie. Like, if Davey, like, if we were in high school and Davey had been in a movie.
He was.
Oh, what movie?
Lords of Dogtown.
Oh, yeah. I would never have dogged on him. I wouldn't have watched that movie.
I watched that movie and went,
look how shitty Davey is.
I watched that movie and went, this movie isn't that great.
But
I didn't dog on
it
him.
For him. Yeah. And, like, there was nothing cringy about Harry's performance.
No. And he did genuinely really well.
So I think that you, at first I thought the same thing you did, his star power. But I think Florence actually has.
I think due to the fact that it's a psychological thriller movie and she's kind of like the horror queen at the moment. Uh-huh. Even though she's really only been in Midsommar.
Not horror, but like she's like the psychological.
Yeah. Because she's only really been in Midsommar.
There was something else that she was in recently.
Little Women. She was in Little Women.
Not psychological horror.
It is for me. Because I kind of went through this whole, like, I don't think Timothée Chalamet's is caught in the slightest.
She calls him that.
I do too.
She calls him Timothée Chalamet Ding Dong.
I do too, but it's Timothée Chalamet Ding Dong. Anyway, I don't find him attractive in the slightest. He looks like a little Victorian ghost boy.
He looks like Nancy from Stranger Things.
But
I think he's cute in like an unconventional.
I don't find him cute at all.
He looks like they carved him out of marble. Like what Edward would look like in the book.
Edward Cullen?
Yes.
Ew, gross.
You like Edward.
I know, but not Timothée Chalamet. I literally do
No,
not.
that's what
I literally
he
do
is
not
what-
find this man attractive. But let me tell you, in Little Women, when he's like,
attractive?
no, he wasn't. His character
I
was.
haven't seen Little Women.
Because when she's like, no. Because when she starts to realize he's falling in love with her, and she's like, no, I will not be your replacement for Joe.
Oh,
She was
yeah.
really good.
Yeah. Well, okay, I gotta know.
But then
what
I
it
started kind of going like, oh, no, girl, go with
Listen,
Timothy.
get him.
Go with it. Florence also, she was, I don't know, because she's more, I mean, she's in Marvel.
is. Is she a model for real? Oh, she was in Black Widow. Fighting with my family.
Yeah.
That's not. None of these are like.
But everyone loves her because she's like got that face, that shocked horror face.
She's just good.
Yeah, I liked it. I mean, oh, and the music. That,
Yeah.
like, and like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, that was intense. The music was badass. All of it. I liked everything.
It really sets
Especially that part when she first touches it and it just comes like red.
squishes her. Oh no!
No, yeah,
when she touches the thing to get out.
Yes, the
yeah,
first time, like
yeah,
that's intense. You're like, what the fuck?
and like
the music,
and then like I know you didn't really like the whole black and white dancer thing. Like, not that you didn't like it, it was weird. I kind of loved it.
No, I mean,
except for the parts where they,
why that
except
was
for the
what
parts
they
when they got
used.
scary.
That's what I'm saying.
'Cause
But
I was like,
I think that's when it was fucking with her head.
Yeah,
Not when, like, that's the parts that were like getting into the deep psyche of her, and like she was making them be scary.
Yeah.
Because at first I thought that too.
'Cause
was
I
like,
think it just scared
that's
her.
what I didn't like, was that they were scary. But then I'm like, I don't think they were scary. I think you're right. It was just like the hypnotizingness of them, and then her brain made them scary.
yeah. She's just like, I know something's wrong when this happens.
Yeah.
And I'm having this weird reoccurring thing, and it makes it scary in her own mind. I don't think
Yeah.
it was ever scary intentionally.
Right. That's what. Yep. And then like all the scary stuff that he's doing, fucking with her in the program, compared to that being there, I think all just kind of made the psychologicalness of it create the faces of the scary, like,
Yeah.
you know. And then the nurses who gave her the lobotomy or whatever, what's that called, where they shock her?
Electroshock therapy?
Those are the faces of the girls that were doing the legs.
Yeah.
So they were like, I think she was like making them be the same person.
Yeah.
And so it
Yeah.
was turning them
Well, you
into,
know,
like, a
the
monster.
whole, you can't create a face in a dream.
Yeah.
So anybody you see in a dream, you've seen in real life at least once.
Like, at least, yeah.
So I think that was just another one of those like little clues of like, something's wrong.
Yeah.
And she's not lying. And there's like this weird split, like what's
Between
real
the
and what's
two,
not.
yes. Yeah. For sure. There was also, crap. There's something else I was thinking of, but I can't remember now. It was about, like, the faces or something. I don't remember.
How about when you see his face?
Like, when it
In
flashes?
the flashes? I still don't know that they're his face because
I'm pretty sure it is.
because
you see,
I mean,
like,
it literally is a flash.
like, quick. But I think it is his face, because you see, like, especially the second time I watched it, because the first time I just looked at Reggie and was like, dude, did you see that? And he was like, yeah. And then that was it. But then when we watched it, and I was like, did you see that? You can see, like, I thought it was glasses,
but it's those
his,
little eye things.
yeah, it's the,
Yeah, because, yeah.
but either way, it, like, had the frame, around his eye.
Yeah. I think it was just the times when, she was coming out of it and he was going into it.
Yeah, because that's, I wonder if that's when it glitches.
When he
No.
comes in?
Maybe. No, I really think that dude's causing the glitches. I think that Chris Pine realizes that she did that, and he intensifies them to, like, it's like what you said, like when he told her, I need you to keep doing this, and I thought
challenge
you'd do
me.
better. Yeah, because the challenge makes him make it better.
Yeah. I think that's exactly what he needs to figure out a way to fully immerse the women that come in, and by her challenging everything, I think, what's her face? Is it Margaret? Is her friend?
The one that got Margaret, yeah, because
yeah.
I made the comment that, because Reggie said, imagine having a name like Margaret, and I was like, hey, now you could call her Maggie, and he like looked at me like, dude, that would be the exact reason not to kill
yeah.
Margaret.
Yeah, I think
And I was
Margaret...
like, I like Maggie.
I think Margaret, he was testing her, but she gave up too easy.
Oh, like...
Because it pretty much was like... It made it seem like she went from 0 to 60 pretty quickly, you know?
Because she was our friend until she went crazy.
Yeah. And then I think because Florence's character was still challenging him and still looking for things, but was playing along a little bit more.
And, like, doing it on the down low.
Yeah, I think that was for him, like, a really good challenge to figure out how to get the women to be more integrated, or to see if after a while they realize something's wrong, that they just kind of not necessarily give up, but give in the way Bunny did.
They just play the rules. Play by the rules. He's back there. I don't know what you were hearing over there.
It sounds like someone was over here.
No, he was back there. Trippy.
Anyway.
I also don't think that this has happened before. You know how I was telling you the other day, I'm like, maybe that's why she snaps out of it so quickly. But I really don't think that she'd ever woke up before. I think she woke up the one time, they caught her, put her back under, because he didn't know. So it was just enough time for them to push her back without her actually
to block
waking
it,
up.
yeah.
Yep. And then I think she obviously went through it the second time. How does she find out? What makes her go through it? Oh, they take her in electric shock. He gives her up. Yeah, so she gets electric shock therapy or whatever and gets put back, which is probably what happened the first time, which is why she doesn't remember it.
Yeah. Because she just goes from touching it to being in bed.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, I just came home when you were in bed, so I just started dinner.
I was here when you got here.
Yeah. But then when at dinner, when she said, I went to the headquarters and I saw the secret, he was genuinely shocked that she had done that.
So he was like,
so there was no way he had anything.
Happened, and he's like, you didn't tell me that.
Yeah.
So I do think, obviously, that was the first time. Then the second time would be when he gave her up for the electroshock therapy to make her just forget that she had done that.
Yeah.
And then clearly the third time would be when she remembers when he's singing the song.
Yeah.
So I do think that, obviously, the more it happened to her, it became more triggering to certain things. But I don't think that it happened in the past. I think those 3 incidences recently were the only.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
the waking up at the end is the other one.
Yeah. I just keep thinking, like, if they're truly supposed to be sort of in this, like, simulated world, and I can understand, like, Harry Styles, like, he volunteered for it, he volunteered her for it, but they would have to have some sort of, like, way of getting their personalities and their memories into that. Obviously, they get rid of the memories, but if it's that easy to erase the memories and give them a backstory, then why would she even need to go through the electric shock therapy? Why couldn't they just wipe her memory, like, in a computer code, and then send her back without traumatizing the poor girl?
No shit, because
they just kidnap her, electroshock therapy, try to erase that memory, give her some time, and then they send her back out. If she's truly in a computer simulated world, they should have just clicked a button, erased, like, the last 2 months.
Yeah, or a week.
And then went from there.
No shit, because I was thinking when you had
just,
asked
like,
that
sort
too,
of, like, reset it.
Yeah, because when you asked that before, what I was thinking when I got home, because I've been thinking about this movie since I watched it, I'm not even kidding. Like, I want to go see it again. I really like it a lot. I haven't liked a movie like this for a long time. It's been a long time since a movie intrigued me like this. And I'm really sad that people don't fucking like it. But I was thinking about it when I got home when you said, with, like, the resetting thing, or, like, how they get their memories into it. Like, you know how you're in a VR game and you're still you. I know it's not a game, but you know what I mean by that. Like, you're in the VR, you're look like a character, but your personality is you. But then you just said right now that their backstories are all, they've programmed their backstories differently, and they literally erased
they erased all of their previous memories.
How they met their boyfriends, how they got married, where they went on their honeymoons.
So they erased all of anything that would have happened before to, like, put them in this 1950s setting.
Why would they give them the same?
You would think that there would be some sort of, like, Mad Libs that they could come up with.
Which is maybe why Victory Phase 2 was coming into play.
I think Victory Phase 2 was also, because it said there were 75 people online. Exactly. And I think Victory Phase 2 is then growing. She said they're
putting houses behind ours and we're going to be closer to town.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think there's all these little subtle things of, like, the project's growing, more people are getting involved, more people are doing this, more people want this perfect society where basically, because they live in the cul-de-sac. They live in the center of the swirl. Because if you look at it, it's kind of like a swirly thing.
Yep.
Almost like an eye, honestly, because it kind of goes like this.
Yeah.
So they live in the center.
And they are being watched.
And I feel like they're the guinea pigs. Anything that they do, because they're some of the first ones.
They definitely are the first ones.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you're right on that. I mean, actually, I think that's 100%.
So I think, like, they're watching them. They're watching everything they do. They're monitoring everything about them. Because, honestly, if you have 75 people in there and they're all starting to crack a little bit, you're not going to have enough people to go in and try to, like, fix it. So they're focusing mostly on them
so that they can
to fix the problems so that as more people are coming.
Perfect the background.
The NPCs.
The NPCs, yeah. Yeah, the NPCs.
I think they're just using them. I think that really what he heard was the sort of the sales pitch of, like, using the term like meta, you know, like, we need people to play test meta. It's not really like play test, but, you know, like when you play test video games, you're getting the full experience of the video game, but you're catching the glitches for the developers to make it better. So once they put it out and more people are playing it, so they are the play testers for victory, and phase 2 is going to be starting to move forward with more things like maybe more people coming in. How are we going to affect, like, the glitching and, like, the shaking and, you know, the NPCs freaking out when you ask them questions that they can't answer, like the bus driver.
The bus driver did good, though, because he didn't seem like somebody glitching out or like freaking out.
But it's just he was just like, nope, can't do that.
You're doing something weird. You're doing something weird, you know. Like,
you know, it's like in Skyrim. Sometimes their NPCs kind of glitch out. You ask them, like, a wrong question at a wrong time, and they're just sort of like, I'm going to answer this question, but I don't know why. Like, if you're further ahead or behind on missions and you go to, like, a certain area and you ask an NPC and then you ask them about something and they're like, you should have already known about this. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
You know, sometimes in those, like, smart games, you know, the NPCs glitch out because they're giving too much intelligence. So he's like, I can't stray from my route. You can't leave. Oh, God, something bad's going to happen. I got to go, you know?
Yeah, bye. I'm just going to go back to town.
He's just, like, resetting.
He even tells her, you're riding the bus really far today. And she's just like, yeah, I needed to get out of the house. And he's like, well, I'm turning around here. Like, I don't go further.
It's just like in Sims, you know, when you, like, in Sims 3 specifically, because Sims 4 doesn't have this. But in Sims 3, when the cars would drive by your house, you would see them, like, loop around the end and go back, you know? It's just, they have a certain route they take, and that's their route. That's what they're programmed for.
How'd you get back? The trolley?
Yeah. It's just, maybe the trolley doesn't ever go back to its main point, like, specifically. Maybe it, like, blinks out of existence and then comes back, you know?
But because she was there
and he's freaking out. He's like,
I've never done this before.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's kind of like in the Truman Show. I don't know why it reminded me of that, but there's like a part with the girl who plays the travel agent. She's never had to be at her desk or do her job before, but she has to be prepared to do her job if he, like, walks in there randomly. So you see her, like, coming out with her, she's got her makeup bib on and, like, she's making her hair look good and, like, just ate lunch, and you can tell that she wasn't prepared because she's like, you've never been here before.
Yeah.
Even though she's a real person, it's not the same exact
Well, I did see Olivia Wilde cited Truman Show and The Inception as her biggest influences.
Oh, that's funny. So
so when we were like, it's like The Truman Show.
It kind of is. So it's like The Truman Show meets.
And I can see the inception of the whole, you're getting placed in, like, a dreamlike world, and whatever you're doing is affecting sort of the outside in a world, in a way.
I wonder if it's not creating power somewhere, which is where the guys go work.
Maybe.
Because
I mean, they kind of
would have to go to something.
But I think part of it also is the backstory of that town is very similar to, like, when I was talking about that nuclear testing town. The town was literally developed for the workers for the nuclear testing.
So maybe they think that they're just.
So it's sort of like that.
Job.
But since it's like the 50s, I think that maybe would be why. But I think that they're kind of using that as, like, a backstory.
So, like, don't talk about what you see because you're in a private town. Like, you don't need to tell other people.
Yeah, we provide everything for you because you don't need to go out.
Like, you live in the real world, so if you happen to run into a person, you know, quotation marks, which you're never going to do because you don't know it's fake.
But I think it is interesting that he learns about it online.
Yeah.
And it's just like through podcasting or videos.
I kind of want to go back and like watch that part and just listen to what he says in the background, what Chris Pine says. Because I've
he's
never
talking
actually
about,
listened
like,
to what he said.
We need to take back control. It almost seems like, to me, from what I remember, because this was Monday and now it's Wednesday, and a lot's happened in between. It almost seemed like to me he was sort of like, let's go back to the old school days of you're taken care of. And that's what he kind of wanted. He wanted his wife to be available for him again. And so he fell into that whole trap of that.
Yeah.
But it is very similar to how like people with QAnon kind of follow into it, of just these simple phrases of, you want things to be simpler, don't you?
And then
I do want that. And then you kind of go, but, hey, let's throw lizards into the pool. You know what? I will, because you make sense up till now,
So that part I'll ignore.
So, yeah, we'll do whatever you want, because up till then I was with you.
Yeah.
So I'll just play along and we'll see where it happens.
All right.
And then once you get the people throwing the lizards in the pool, you've got them. Yeah. You've got them.
So I was also reading that this movie, a lot of people don't like it because they cite it with fake feminism. Like, basically, it's women's liberation, or supposed to be, like Olivia Wilde saying that the future is female ejaculation. It's the first orgasm on screen, and it's.
But it's not,
and it's really not. And and if that's what she's going for, that was terrible execution. Because there could have been a million other ways to do it, and it's also she's not willing. I know that she's willing in that like circumstance, but ultimately, even that sexual act, because she's not willingly in that matrix or whatever.
It's not really consent.
It's not consent.
Yeah.
And because she's not even in her right mind to...
We're not even sure that she's her.
Right.
As much as it's just her body.
Or like, is she feeling... Like, so she's laying there in that bed, like, oblivious to what's going on, but feeling these things in her brain.
Yeah. There's a lot of questions. But I do think that by Olivia marketing it as female liberation for, these sex and stuff, I think Flo
is right.
We're best friends, by the way. I can call her Flo. I think Florence is correct in saying that's not what this movie truly is about.
There's more to it than that.
By focusing so hardcore on those sex scenes, you're losing what the movie truly was about, because those sex scenes were like twice.
And there's like 2 seconds of it.
Yeah, they're not even... I mean, the one with Chris Pine is a little important for the story.
I think so, too, because it kind of like...
Because it kind of is like...
shows that he's watching everything.
Yeah, and that he really, truly has total control over what she does. Yeah. But the first one...
And it's also her first mind fuck.
Yeah.
It's also the first time he gets in her head and fucks with her.
But I think the first one was sort of... It was not necessarily unnecessary, because... You kind of see them laying in bed before, so you kind of get the sense that they are very intimate with each other. The purpose
for that is to show us that when he doesn't get it later in the real world,
that's part of why he did it.
Because he acts that way when he comes home, so he wants her to give it when she comes home.
So
I think... Yeah. I think that they're important to the movie. I don't think that they need to be deleted.
I also think it's interesting that...
They don't ever actually have sex, either.
No, he just,
fingers her.
But see, here's the thing. This is what I was thinking of. It is sort of going back to the whole he did everything for her, because it's not necessarily she was doing anything for him.
Right.
He was eating her out.
It's her pleasure.
And he was fingering her.
And buying her clothes.
So it really is.
Gave her a house.
He truly, in his mind, is like, this is great because I'm giving her everything she wants.
Right, because the only thing that she really gives him...
is money.
I guess.
In the real world.
Yeah. So she gives him pretty much like she makes dinner and cleans his house.
Yeah.
So ultimately he probably thinks like he's sacrificing more for her than she is for him.
He's sacrificing to give her happiness.
In his head, he's doing the right thing. Like, he's the ultimate guy. Like, I'm all about
it's a
my
morbid way of
pleasure.
thinking it, but in his mind,
it's all about her pleasure.
In his mind, he did it
happiness.
strictly for her and not for him.
Which is kind of fucked up. It's kind of more fucked up, because then it puts me in a place where I'm like, oh man, that's sad. But then it's also like...
It's sad for him, too, because he's like, I genuinely thought I was doing something good for
But
you.
you had to know it was wrong when you freaking tied her up to a bed.
And you bashed her head in to get her there.
I mean, what do you have? Yeah, he had to have done something.
Well, I think they talk about... I think there's, like, one slight mention of a head injury. Like he probably, like, when you bashed her head in or something. There was, like, some little thing where I was like, oh, so he did hit her over the head.
Because I was just thinking maybe he went up behind her and, like, handcuffed her and then handcuffed her and then...
There's blood on the floor. There was blood on the floor when he's dragging her through the bathroom. That wasn't in the simulation. That was the real world.
That's right. You're right. Because I remember now he's dragging her. You see from his point of view, her feet dragging.
Yeah. And I can't remember where.
Maybe she fell.
But it's around that part he made a comment like about
or put a roofie in her drink.
There was some comment about her head being hurt.
I wonder if she fell and hit her head.
Yeah, I don't know.
Makes more sense than him bash her in the head, because if he bashed her in the head, he probably could have killed her.
Well, I mean, it just knock her out.
Not necessarily. Bashing people in the head can be fucked up. Like,
well, I mean, she killed him by bashing him in the head, but
exactly
depends on where you hit them.
The irony.
And how hard.
The irony.
Yeah. Yeah.
I still don't get why he was squeezing her.
He just didn't. I think he wasn't squeezing her tight like the way she was making it seem. She was like, "You're constricting me because it's a metaphor."
I get that, but like, why didn't he just let her go?
Because if you let her go, it's going to fuck up everything for him, too. And he's trying to hold her there.
Ran?
Well, not only that, but it's a metaphor. It's all a metaphor. He's holding her there.
Yeah.
And she's feeling the anxiety and the pressure, and she needs to get out of there.
Let me go. But I don't think she would have known to go to the desert without Bunny telling her to. So where would she have gone that he thought she'd get away?
Well, maybe he also just didn't want her running away because the NPCs would get her and they would fuck them both over.
And then he'd get fired.
So regardless, if he lets her go, they're both screwed. So it was a metaphor. Also, he's holding her there and she's trying to get away. So
the other women can't find out because that's obviously what happens as the world starts blowing up because the other women find out.
Well, the other women are just starting to question. I mean,
and too many people
because Buddy already knew and Buddy was fine with it.
And what you said when it's not working, it doesn't work. Like it doesn't.
Yeah, you
have to believe people have to work.
People have to be fully immersed in that for it to work. I mean, it's kind of like the uncanny valley of if something's just slightly off, people totally lose that immersion.
I just can't see why people didn't like this movie.
I mean, a lot of people don't, like I said, they don't like to think too much. And it's not that you have to think during this movie, but it makes you think.
It makes you feel something.
And if you're not being presented, like, on a plate, like, this is exactly truly what's happening. Here, eat this, because this is exactly what you need to know. Some people just completely shut off and don't like it.
And like those people, the one people that didn't think it had an ending when it clearly ended. Like, that was
it had an ending. You just have to infer what you think.
In my opinion, I kept thinking, how were they going to end it because of their comment? And I'm like, there would have been no other way to end it.
I think it would have...
Because if you showed her waking up, that sucks.
If you would have showed her waking up to people killing her,
or even
that would have sucked.
In chains.
I think the way it ended, it was perfect because you can decide what her fate is at the end of that.
Like, I could be like, wow, she's going to die. And you can be like, well, she might have got away.
Yeah, you are able to decide what happens to her. Which is still the whole point of it, is she never got a choice. Because she never got a choice to be in there. Now she doesn't even get a choice of whether or not you decide, the viewer, if she lives or dies, because all we hear is her wake up.
Just go. Ow, Charlie.
Nah, that one was dumb.
Dude, Charlie bit my finger and makes me laugh so hard still.
Is that really?
Yeah.
It doesn't do anything for me.
No, not like the Munsters.
Segway.
You're an idiot. Or maybe I am.
I think we both are, honestly.
The Munsters did it all for me.
Oh, you got off on the Munsters?
Oh, yeah.
Was it Grandpa?
It was Grandpa, always. So I never watched the show, and I know you told me 1,000 times that Herman Munster is a Frankenstein monster. I fucking always think he's the Grandpa is Herman.
No.
Every time I see the Grandpa, I think that Lily
is married to the Grandpa?
Yes, I think that's
her dad.
I know. So today, every time I saw it, I was like, oh, yeah, that's right. Like, this is her husband.
Yeah. Lily could have not existed. Sherry played Lily so bad that if they would have taken Lily out of that and it was just Grandpa and Herman interacting together, it would have been a far better movie. Yeah, no one can see what you're doing.
I know. You can tell.
Lily does do that, but it's not every single scene. And it's not that exaggerated.
Oh, she does it in every scene.
She does it like, oh, Herman. And then she's like, it's just so bad.
She caught her face constantly, like her hands up and doing this willy-nilly whimsical
She's
shit.
just so bad in that too. It's like she didn't even try.
I just wanted to, and it's the only reason that they get together is because the plot told them to.
Yeah,
It's
they had
because
no chemistry. She saw him on
see
TV.
The love story.
Yeah.
If that's what they're gonna give us.
Yeah, she saw him on TV.
I love him.
And then he saw her when he opened the door, and all of a sudden they're together. And those little like scenes of like
And he doesn't
the
want
hearts
any
around
honey
him.
babies, any honey kids.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But like all the hearts
Yes.
around when they like cut to them like going, and it was like the hearts around them, or like when Grandpa was doing
When
something
they, like,
and it had
spit.
like the explorer. Like, I fucking hated that.
In the cartoon car.
The cartoon car scene toward the end where they're in Hollywood doing
Yeah.
that was the worst.
What? Why?
What was that?
Like,
that never once happened
if-
in a Munsters show that I can think of.
If you're going for campy, you went
Too
so
campy.
far beyond campy. It's not even campy anymore. It's
Yeah.
like you anti-camped it. It's
There's like a line of campiness, and he went so far around it, he came back to it, and it was
line.
wrong.
Yeah, the line is a dot to you.
Yeah, he went like in a loop. He went 360, and it came back wrong.
Yeah, and now it's all backwards and
I
not
think like
campy.
the idea of it was good. Seeing like their love story and how they came to be
Without
was
the
a good
kid.
idea.
But like, if you're gonna give us this bullshit, why not at least give us the kid and stuff that we know?
Like have her get pregnant at the end.
Yeah,
or
that's what I really
something.
thought was gonna happen. Was that
Like she was gonna be like, Herman, oh, put your hands up. Herman,
yeah.
I'm pregnant.
willy-nilly whimsical.
We're having a baby, and then him
God.
fainting, and Grandpa's
She-
saying something snarky.
Should have had a wand in her hand as much as she did the whimsical.
Also, this is one of the bigger things that really fucking annoy me. I can overlook the Zombo thing, even though the Zombo thing made no sense to me because in the
How
show
many times did they show it? Just the one?
twice. Well, I think they watched the show once. That's where he gets the idea to go to Hollywood.
Yeah.
Because he's like, if he can make it, I can make it, without realizing it's not a real
not even a
person.
real-
Like
yeah.
it's a real person, not like a monster. But then toward the end, they're eating the Zombo things that he was.
Yeah.
But that's from the TV show. But it's from the one episode of the TV show where it's Eddie's favorite TV show.
So it must
And
still be
Herman
wrong.
never once mentioned, like, oh, I remember Zombo. Because by that, he would know Zombo's not a real, like, actual human.
You would think. Or you mean
Or
monster.
you would, like, a real monster. Like, that's the whole point is, like, Herman gets so jealous of him because Eddie wants to be like him instead of his dad.
Yeah, which would...
And then when they find out that he's not a real monster,
He's like,
Herman's like,
"Eh."
haha, you know, I'm still your favorite person.
Yeah.
But
Like the whole purpose of them going to Mockingbird Lane, they went on Halloween, so they don't even realize that everybody around them isn't a monster.
yeah, which in the show they interact with humans all the time.
All the time.
It's just slightly different. Like they just look at them weird and they go, "Oh, that's weird. I wonder why they're acting like that." You know,
They look different today.
they don't think that they're all that in a bag of potato chips either. They're just sort of like, well, they're strange people, and then they wander off. And I do like that they added the brother, so maybe people can stop that whole how did like a vampire and a Frankenstein monster have a werewolf baby.
I did
It's
too.
her brother.
I did too.
I liked
'cause
that.
I instantly knew he was her
While-
brother because of that.
yeah.
I was like, oh yeah.
While the
that's
brother is
right.
fucking annoying as
Stupid.
shit.
His character.
And-
Did you get with the castle? Like, I can't remember what happened with the castle. He like gambled it off or something.
Yeah, he owed that lady money, and she was once married to Grandpa, so in revenge, she asked for the castle back.
I didn't catch that. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
yeah, because that's why he has, like, the picture. That's why she had the picture of Grandpa.
Yeah.
Because they were once married. And in revenge, she always said she was going to get revenge on Grandpa. So, in revenge, she made him give up the castle to repay his debts, basically.
Yes. Okay.
But in the show, they're rich anyway. And I know, like, at the end, they get the check that makes them rich, but they're, like, old money rich in the show. Like, they mention him being a count and having money.
And having money. So, and then, like, at the end, the brother just takes his money. He's like, yeah, I'm going to make it rain.
Yeah.
Just he gives them a check.
But then he
takes
has
money
cash.
out and makes it rain.
Yeah.
Like,
And the other thing that kind of annoyed me is it's a very 70s aesthetic. but the show came out in the 60s.
And was it supposed to be, you said 1800s?
Well, they talk about being like 150 years old when they met. Like, they talk about being like, it being...
She says that I'm 150.
Well,
like,
in this show, they talk about them being married for hundreds of years by the
young.
time you see them on the show. So, by them getting married sort of more in like the, I'm assuming like 70s, 80s, because it's definitely not modern times.
No.
Look at the phones and the camera.
Yeah.
But he does have a digital
But
camera.
she says something about...
and the TV's
something
old.
about being on your dating profile. Oh, I guess that happened in the 80s.
They had like those movies.
Yeah, those
Like videos and stuff.
yeah.
Or, you know, you would get like they had like other dating profile
Magazines or like,
things.
what was it, the little ads you could put in
Yeah.
papers seeking.
I did like the Nosferatu guy. He was pretty funny. I liked him.
What? Really?
I liked him a lot.
No.
I liked it when you see him later in the club
Do you
dancing.
like rats?
And then later, did you notice in the newspaper that they're reading at the table, he gets eaten by a horde of rats?
No.
Yeah.
I don't notice any details.
I
It's
was
kinda
like, that's
in
nice.
Don't Worry, Darling, when you said she turned her head and her reflection stayed. I'm like, shit. I want.
It was like
that's
it was a snap.
That's a good one too, though. Like him being eaten by the rats because he's
Yeah.
like so in love with his rats.
There were little like touches, like it really was like a fan service type thing where it was like, oh, do you remember that one episode where this random thing was mentioned? Oh,
Yeah.
here it is.
But
But it
any
was
of us
like,
would know that.
Well,
you know that.
I know it because
how
I
many
watch it a
people
lot.
actually like our age watched it.
well, I don't know because I like to go back and watch it all
But I
the time.
guess it is a fan service thing. But
But
it really just
still.
looked like their sets were built out of cardboard and it was a high school play.
Well, and the funny thing is, they filmed on set like in Budapest or something like that.
And like you said-
and they built Mockingbird Lane specifically for that movie. I really
amazing.
seriously think that he thought that he got the producer money, the money to produce it, and he thought that this was going to be a much bigger deal. So when no one wanted it and he had to go to Netflix, it was like a shock to him.
But what did he think was going to happen? The movie is really, really, really
Bad.
Really, 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 really.
I wish he.
bad.
I understand he did it in color because he filmed it that way, with that like lighting and like the fluorescent coloring and all the like shininess of it. But I really wish he would have kept it black and white until the very end. I feel like it should have been black and white.
Oh, and then like when they get to Hollywood or whatever, then they come to
Something.
color, and then the next one we have is color.
Something. I don't think there'll be a next one.
You
This
know,
one
if it
wasn't
would have
good.
been black and white, it oddly might have taken away from the campiness of the background.
But that would have been okay with me because the
Yeah.
background was so
Because
fucking
that's a lot of what the
busy.
problem was yeah,
It
all
was
the colors
way
and all
too
the lights, and
busy.
it's dark in spots, and it was very like
It looked like someone took acid in the 70s and watched the Munsters, and that's what they remember the Munsters being.
yeah.
And
And why would he tell her to act like that?
yeah, she's so dry.
So
Dry.
so bad.
It's so bad. She's like, okay, Herman, I'm ready. Also, this was like my number one annoyance. Like, I think I could forgive a lot of this stuff, but where did the powers come from?
Yeah.
Why did Lily have like lightning bolt eye glowing powers?
Did she have that?
She had come into Thor. Did she become Thor?
Did she have that in like?
Not that I remember, but there's only 2 seasons of the show.
So was this something that they had later written and they didn't get to do?
There's
it?
2 seasons of the show, but then there was also like Munsters Go Home, which was a movie, and there was another like TV movie. So I guess in some of that she could have ended up with powers, but I do not know Lily having powers in the slightest.
Yeah. Did Dad have powers?
No, I don't. No.
Nobody had any.
He could like make like he can disappear and move around, but
He's a vampire.
But he's a vampire, so no, I don't think he has the same powers. I was trying to see because, like I was telling you, it was like they finished filming, then all of a sudden it was like it'll be out in September. So I was looking for that tweet where it was like, "We're done filming."
I can't believe they got it out that fast.
I can't either because honestly, it was crazy because I remember seeing like that's a wrap, and then.
Because I remember you saying, oh, they're making a Munsters movie, and then you're like, dude, it's going to Netflix. Dude, it'll be here in like a week.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? You just told me like a month ago.
Yeah, I remember seeing that tweet of like it's a wrap, and being like, oh, okay, so we'll get it next year, and then all of a sudden it was like September, and I'm like, Wait, what?
Yeah. Yeah, it was real bad. It was real bad.
It was done filming before July, that's for sure. But
I really wish they would have just made it scary. Like, if Rob Zombie's going to make a movie...
I really wished it would have been, like, a rated R. But
why would he not make it scary? He gets his hands on everything else, and every movie he's ever made's been rated R and scary and slashery. Why would this one not be?
I just feel like he's not made for the campiness of it.
No, because he doesn't know how to do it. He overdid it. I don't know. It's almost like he tried to make Idle Hands, and Idle Hands was the perfect amount of campy.
Idle Hands was campy to the right amount, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it was campy, but it wasn't, like, super duper campy.
And, like, I'm like, Rob Zombie, you don't make movies like this. Why would you not take this opportunity? Because you could have had them go to Mockingbird Lane, and they're trying so hard to fit in, and they, like, accidentally kill the town. And that's, I mean, even, you could have made it campy in that aspect, where they're not meaning to murder people, and they don't realize that they're monsters.
Yeah.
But, like...
Oh,
the Munsters
July 8th. They wrapped on July 8th.
July.
So they've had 2 months to...
Not even.
Because they would have had to have edited it in a month.
In order to put it out this soon, it would have had to have at least been done by the beginning of September. I mean, unless they pushed it to the very point of release.
Well, you know, and it's not technically...
July, August. Yeah, that's...
It's 2 months, essentially, of editing. But
September is...
It's only
they put
like...
out mid-September.
They put it
That's
end
like
of
a
September.
month and a half.
No, it's end of September.
Still, you'd have to have it done at least a week up to... You know what I mean?
Well,
like,
I mean, to have it, like, integrated into...
realistic.
Netflix also never promoted this. Because...
No, because I saw nothing anywhere. Usually they have, like,
yeah, and when they do,
advertisements.
like, Netflix on, like, Instagram and Twitter and Facebook usually put, like, the things coming to Netflix in September. It never once said the Munster movie.
It just, boom, appeared.
It was just like, oh, yeah, by the way, it's coming out Tuesday.
Number 6, I think, on the Netflix top 10, which I don't think it's number 6 because it's worth being number 6.
I think they wanted to see how terrible it is.
Or they're like, whoa, what's this? Rob Zombie made the Munsters.
Yeah.
I guess my kids...
I kind of wish that it was that cartoon at the ending during the
credits.
Thank you. Just scratching the table.
It'll come to me.
The cartoon during the credits was way better.
I didn't actually watch it.
I liked that way better than the actual movie.
Ooh, I'll give you a little more runtime with the awesome credits.
They looked cooler too.
Was it the same kind of cartoon style that the car had?
No, it wasn't. Here, I'll play it for you.
Yeah.
Because I will say though, the guy who played Grandpa and the guy who did Herman was... He went in and out. Sometimes I was like, oh, wow, this is a really good Herman. Sometimes I'm like, ooh, boy.
I liked his funny song thing. I like that.
The song like that he sang in the bar.
Yeah, where she went to meet him.
Yeah. Yeah, that wasn't bad. I didn't mind that. I really hate the I Got You, Babe cover.
Yeah.
Although my mom was singing... My mom's never going to listen to this, thankfully. My mom was singing along with it, and she sounded really bad.
She sounded like Lily?
But it worked so well with Herman.
With it.
And my mom liked this movie.
She liked it.
My mom liked it.
No offense. Don't watch this.
These are the kind of movies my mother likes, though. The really dumb. We watched a movie called Unhuman about a group of teenagers. It's a Blumhouse movie.
I feel like I've seen this movie.
It's like a group of teenagers go to like this field trip, and then zombies attack, but then it turns out that it's not actually zombies.
What is it?
It's a scared straight program, and they're not actually zombies, but they accidentally drug everyone up to like roid out, basically, and then they start killing each other.
Yeah, if a zombie comes at me, I'm gonna kill it.
Yeah, well, yeah, but my mom thought that was okay, and I'm like, this is awful, Mom. What are you talking about?
Do I need to watch how bad it is?
No, just don't watch it.
It sounds entertaining.
It's a teenage movie. Like Blumhouse really went from we made
good scary
Insidious
movies
to we make teenager movies
because all the teenagers loved Insidious.
Yeah.
So they think that they need to aim them at teens now, and they give us shitty ass scary movies. Smile's rated R.
Well, good.
I didn't realize that.
Is that a Blumhouse?
I don't know. I don't know if it's Blumhouse or not, but it's rated R, and I'm like, finally, a fucking rated R movie. But she actually looks
look at
really
the style
cool.
of it.
Yeah.
It's really cool. Oh, I forgot Sylvester McCoy is in it.
Who's he?
It's from the doctor. He's one of the doctors from Doctor Who.
Who played Herman?
He's got 3 words. Like, look how cool she looks.
She does look cool. That looks cool too, the drippy letters.
Yeah. Way better than that's right too. Way better than when you see the drippy letters in the movie and it's like drip, drip, drip. And you're like, what?
Plus, when they announced the Munsters in the beginning of the movie, it's just all of a sudden the Munsters. And
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
That intro was really
What
fucking
was?
weird.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Like you just. Doof.
Jeff Daniel Phillips.
I do not know who that is.
He was in another Rob Zombie movie, Shock of All Shocks.
Wow, he like can't get different actors.
He really can't. Because the great guy who plays the grandpa, I know as being a bit actor in like the background of like, I think he was in a 911 episode. If I show you, I think you would know.
Probably. I watched every 911 episode.
I know, but I think I just recently watched an episode he was in.
You're like, dude.
Okay, so Jeff Daniel Phillips was in, he was in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh.
He's in something that I think you would like, An American Pickle. I don't know what that is.
I was like, I haven't, what it.
But you like pickles, that's why I said it. He's in 3 from
Is
Hell.
it like the pickle?
I don't know what it is. It just says an undercover pickle.
Oh, is that like an undercover pineapple?
Let's hope not.
Do you know what that is?
Yes. 3
Actually,
from
I
Hell.
think it's upside down pineapple.
It is. He's in 3 from Hell.
I don't remember that one.
It's a Rob Zombie movie.
I know, but is that the newest one or was that?
He's
31?
in 31. No, 3 from Hell's earlier.
He got people making movies like 3 from Hell and
He's in
31.
Lords of Salem.
And Lords of Salem to play Herman Munster.
He's in Halloween 2.
Yeah, what the... He literally got horror movie actors to play campy roles. No wonder it's so bad. I'm surprised... Oh, he died. Never mind. I feel bad. Never mind.
Are you talking about Herman?
No, I'm talking about the guy that played Captain Spaulding.
R.I.P.
No shit. Who would he have been, though? Probably Grandpa?
Yeah, could you imagine? Tutti fucking fruity, Lily. This is the guy who played Grandpa. Do you not recognize him from every show? Well, yeah, because there's Lost people
He
in it
plays
too.
Ernst.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because it had the Lost guy. The one that played Hurley.
Yeah. Which I did not realize that was him until you said the Lost guy. And I'm like, who the fuck is the Lost guy? And I'm like...
Did he have a hunchback?
Yes.
I watched it on my phone and it was hard to tell at first. So Igor plays their butler, but the other guy has the hunchback?
Well, Igor in the TV show is a bat. So when you see him turn into a bat, that explains how he became a bat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
But yeah, he played Ernst. He was the science teacher who was in like 6 episodes.
911
blew up from the dynamite.
2 episodes. He was Norman Peterson.
Yeah. He was the husband. The lady stood on the sign.
And got naked and he's talking to Buck. Yeah.
Yeah. And he's like, I really do love you.
I told you, he's a bit player in like background of every TV show ever.
I can't see him being, I mean,
he was
now
good
that
as
you said
Grandpa,
it was
though.
him, I get it that it was him, but I'm like, that is not who I thought Grandpa was.
He was good as Grandpa. Like, Grandpa was probably the best
But
part.
that's because he plays roles like that normally.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that's the kind of thing he does. Lily. Sherry Moon Zombie does not play roles like that. The other dude does not play roles like that.
No.
Like, they play psycho bitches that kill people in movies.
Yeah, I mean, the guy who plays Herman was in other things. Obviously, An American Pickle.
Yeah, shit.
But
he also played, none of them were campy roles, I'm assuming.
No, a lot of them were B-mo.
She played a serious role in The Mom, and she was like a very serious role as the mom in Halloween. Like she was very sad. I mean, I wouldn't say she was bad. She wasn't really in it a lot, so I think she was good. Yeah.
The minute she opened her mouth in this movie, I went, "No, that's how you're taking this. That's how you're taking this character."
And that's what she sounded the whole movie.
And then, like, she comes in after, like, she gets engaged and she's twirling around and singing. And he's like, "What's going on, Lily? Did you dump him?" And she's just still twirling. And then she goes, "Ah." You're just like, what the fuck is this?
She did the hand thing.
Yeah. I'm like, I really feel like that if it was, I'm not an actor. I think I could have done better. If I was like me, I would have been like, oh, he's adorable. Like, I would have played it up more like vampire-y almost. She just kind of went, oh, I think I love
She
him.
was a dumb blonde.
Yeah.
That's what she
Lily's
did.
a badass.
Not
Lily
in this
is
movie.
fucking there.
Well,
Do you know how many times she has saved Herman from disaster, saved Eddie, saved Grandpa.
From disaster.
Her and Marilyn were like, oh my God, we have all these dumbass boys around us and we are going to kill it. At one point, she gets a job and like hides it from Herman, and she's a badass.
Of the people are gonna know Lily as this shithole.
Oh my God.
This is what we're gonna argue.
Oh my God.
They're gonna be like, you like Lily? Ugh.
Yeah, I mean, I like how he did sort of like the. I don't think I ever saw her in her iconic purple dress, but he did do her coffin coat, and I did enjoy that.
Dress is purple?
Girl, you're asking the person who loves the Munsters how I know.
Black and white.
Because there are colorized versions. Did you know that also she does kind of look like, I mean, I will give it to Sherry. Here's also how, let me backtrack a minute here. I don't like Twizzlers, but thank you.
I tried to give her Twizzlers. That'd be like random in the show.
I don't like Twizzlers.
Just in the middle of it.
Twizzlers will never sponsor us now.
I like Twizzlers.
I like how one of Rob Zombie's posts was introducing Sherry Moon Zombie as the second ever person to play Lily, which is not true. Because Yvonne DiCarlo, who we all know and love as Lily, was not even the original Lily. In the pilot, it was not her. But Sherry Moon Zombie kind of looks like the original Lily. And I think there was
the one before.
Yeah, and I think
so she's the third.
She might even be the fourth, because I think there was a attempt at rebooting it before, or was that the Addams Family? Hold on. It was called 1313 Mockingbird Lane.
I saw an Addams Family porn today.
What?
I can't tell you to cut this out. I saw an Addams Family porn today.
Oh, God, I don't know what you said. That was not even, I'm okay with that.
What did you think I said?
I don't know. I thought you said, I saw Adam's blah, blah, blah porn today. And I was like, who? Adam Sandler porn today is what my head went. And I went, Adam Sandler has a sex tape?
Probably.
Because I don't want it.
I don't either.
Yeah, she's technically the fourth Lily Munster. I knew there was a show called Mockingbird Lane back in the day with Jerry O'Connell as Herman. Yeah.
How many episodes?
It did not ever go to air. It got like they made it and it was supposed to air and then it never went. Like I think it aired like the pilot and that was it. Portia de Rossi was Lily. I knew there was another.
Oh wow!
So she's technically the fourth person. The original person. I
remember that being
the original person in the pilot. Yvonne DiCarlo, Portia de Rossi, then Sherry Moon Zombie.
The second person ever.
Which, if Rob was a real Munsters fan, which he claims to be, boy would know this trivia. I'm not saying I should have gotten the rights, but I should have gotten the rights.
He's not a fan.
He's not a true fan.
He probably
Fake
watched
fan.
the show to make the movie.
Fake fan. Oh, yeah, because Eddie Izzard's in it, too. Eddie Izzard plays Grandpa.
Huh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll bet you he watched the show to make the movie.
Well, he claims to have been a lifelong fan of the Munsters. And I'm like, if this is what you got as a lifelong fan of the Munsters...
You failed. You're not a fan. You might be a fan.
You should have been a lifelong fan of...
But you're not a...
oh, God.
What am I trying to say? He might have been a fan.
This was Lily in the show. This was
Portia
de Rossi as Lily. They just made him like a Modern Family because that's him as Herman.
They're not. That's not.
They weren't monsters, really. It was more like they were like Grandpa Sam Dracula is Dracula who assembled Herman because no man was good enough for his daughter Lily, the sexy vampiress. Lily's niece Marilyn is a freak, but she's actually the normal-looking one, and Lily and Herman's only child, Eddie, has werewolf tendencies surfacing at puberty, forcing the family to relocate to their famous 1313 Mockingbird Lane. Also, at the end of the movie, it makes it seem like he says 1330 Mockingbird Lane. And I'm like, wait. It's 1313. What the fuck are you on?
Yep. So...
Fake fucking fan.
That movie...
It was a TV show.
TV show.
It never came out. Like, it never really aired anywhere.
How many did they make?
It doesn't say. It, like, literally, like...
Can you find it anywhere? I would like to see it. And compared
I don't
to
even
this
know that there's...
trash fire.
I don't actually know that there's any episodes of it surviving. I just know that...
She doesn't look like a good Lily, though. Like,
It's an unsold pilot for NBC that passed, but aired as a part of a Halloween special. So somewhere, this does exist. The remodeled shell of the original 1313 Mockingbird Lane can briefly be seen when Marilyn and Grandpa are walking down the street. When Grandpa restarts Herman's heart, it plays the login chime from Apple computers. And this was 2012. So you would have had to have known, like, Rob Zombie would have had to have known this existed.
yeah.
If I know it exists.
Well, I kind of remember 1313 Mockingbird Lane, like, being advertised.
It says the pilot episode aired on October 26, 2012 as a Halloween special with the option for a series order. The special was viewed 5.47 million by American viewers and gained a 1.5 out of 5-star rating, so it was never picked up.
So there was one episode aired.
There was a pilot.
I would like to see that.
I'm sure somewhere.
I'm going to Google.
It's got to be somewhere, but
yeah.
Anyway. All I'm saying is if you're a fan of the Munsters, you're absolutely going to hate this. As someone who's never seen the Munsters,
I hated it.
There we go. There's your definitive. I have seen Dread Central said it was good.
Ew.
I've seen a lot of good reviews for this, but I've seen bad reviews for Don't Worry, Darling. Skip the Munsters, go to Don't Worry, Darling.
No shit, for real. Like, don't waste your time with the Munsters. I literally was watching it and I'm like, I don't want to watch this.
I fell asleep multiple times, despite the
Yeah.
fact that I was completely awake and doing other things.
So I skipped like 5 minutes, watched 5 minutes, skipped 5 minutes, and then I was like, that's probably why I didn't like it. So I went back and actually watched it, and I was like, I was dreading it.
I got like 40 minutes in before I had to go to the museum and do stuff, and then when I came back to like my mom's house and she was awake, I was like, okay. No, my mom doesn't just sleep all day. She works nights. I just need to preface that. my mom was awake.
My mama.
But she was like, what are you watching? And I'm like, the Munsters. She goes, oh, restart it. I was like, but it's so bad. I don't want to. I want to get through it.
I can't.
So we restarted it. And like I said, my mom laughed quite a few times and kept going, oh, that's funny. Where I'm like, no.
Do you think she actually thought it was funny, or she was just
my mom
like,
likes these kinds of things, though.
Like, she was like, oh, I don't want to make Tori feel bad for watching this.
No, my mom likes things like this.
No.
She 100% likes that stuff.
No, Mr. Superman.
There's like a movie she also watched, thankfully, when I was not home, called like Trapped in a Cornfield or something like that.
What
where,
a name.
Like, literally, people are dropped in the middle of a cornfield and they have to get out of the cornfield. And I'm like,
how hard is that?
And I said, I don't know, maybe because we're from the Midwest, we know just run in one direction, you'll eventually hit a barn, a house, a road, something.
A terrace that you
like,
can climb up.
You know, there's going to be something.
A ditch.
Just run in one direction. And maybe these are city folk, but cornfields are not that hard to get out of.
No.
And she's like, well, they were like booby traps. And I'm like, well, of course, booby traps.
Like how you say, well, they were booby traps.
And she's like, it was actually quite interesting, you know? It was like the government was doing it to him. I'm like, Jesus Christ, Mom, really? She's like, it was good. You should have given it a chance. And I'm like, now I know why you like the movies you like. Seriously. Oh, my God.
There's some movies that I like that don't have any, like the Munsters that are stupid, where you don't have to think, and it's just this cheesy whatever kind of plot, and it's just a good whatever movie, but this wasn't
a good whatever movie. This was, I'm sure if you knew nothing of the Munsters, like absolutely nothing, and you didn't know it was Rob Zombie, you had no, like you just saw it and saw the preview and went, oh, this looks like it could be good.
You know what?
You might like it, but no.
It shouldn't have even been with people. It should have been Muppets, and then it would have been perfect.
So much the Muppets.
Exactly. Think about this movie, but the characters are Muppets.
I would love it.
And Rob Zombie still directed it. Everything was the same, but all the characters, even if it was still Sherry Moon Zombie's voice and everybody, you know, whatever's Muppets.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I'm doing an aha moment.
You know, there is that like meme of like take a movie, replace one of the characters with a Muppet, and how different would that change the movie? And then they're like, do the opposite. Take a movie, make everyone Muppets but one human. And someone said do it with Matt Damon. Do Saving Private Ryan with the Muppets until you get to Matt Damon and he's a human. But then do it with the Martian where do it where Matt Damon's character is a Muppet in Saving Private Ryan. But then do it where Matt Damon is a human in the Martian and he gets back to Earth and they're all Muppets. And I'm like, I would like those movies a lot more. I love The Martian.
I love The Martian too. I love Saving Private Ryan. That's Ken's go-to sleep movie.
Ew. People
and I don't mean like
fall asleep to movies.
Did you hear? I said that's Ken's go-to sleep movie. I meant like go-to sleep movie.
In order to sleep.
Yeah. He goes to that.
I use ASMR if someone pretending to brush my hair. He uses Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah, it's terrible because then he's snoring through the bombing scenes, and I'm like,
you're getting bombarded by both.
Yeah, ends. Like I was asleep. I fall asleep at the beginning of the movie when there's no warness, and then all of a sudden I'm like hearing all these bombs dropping and boom, 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 boom.
You're hearing Tom Hanks.
I wake up every time the one dude dies, Giovanni Ribisi.
Oh yeah.
I see him die. Every fucking time. And I'm like,
every night I watch Giovanni Ribisi die
again. Yes. And I told him, I said, cannot watch this movie tonight because I'm tired of watching Giovanni Ribisi die. And he's like, who's that? I'm like, the medic.
And he's like, I've never watched the movie all the way through.
He's like, oh, yeah, right. And I'm just like, it's the worst death in the whole movie. Well,
it's kind of like in The Crow where I fall asleep in the exact same part of the movie and I've never seen the ending because I always fall asleep.
Always fall asleep.
Kind of like a never finished Interview with the Vampire because I always fell asleep.
It's like me with Mad Max Fury Road. No matter what I
do,
I can't.
That was a good movie. I did like that movie.
Straight, every time I get to like the part where the pregnant chick throws herself under the wheel and I'm like...
You're like, I'm out. Goodbye.
Yeah. And I wake up and I'm like, God dang it, I'm trying to watch this movie. And I wanted to see it so bad. Can't make it through. Peppermint, the movie Peppermint puts me to sleep.
I have never seen that one.
Watch it.
That's a very my mother movie.
Yeah,
my mom likes all the Liam Neeson movies that are basically taken but like redone. Like there's the one where like his son is like a drug dealer or something and he kills that other drug dealer kid and now the family's
and then they're after,
yeah.
That's Snow One or something. What's it called?
Yeah.
Something. Cold Out. Not Out Cold. I like Out Cold. It's like a movie.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Something, yeah. We had the poster here. I pointed over there because we had the poster hanging there.
Yeah, she watches that a lot.
Oh. The only Liam Neeson movie that I could watch over and over again would be The Grey. With the wolves.
I don't really like... I think this is going to sound bad. I'm not a big fan of action movies. I'll watch them, and some of them are good, but that's not my go-to genre.
Right.
My go-to genre is like, was it made in the 50s, and is there music in it? If it was made in the 50s with music, I'm probably Cary Grant. I'm all about it.
Not you. I shouldn't have said you, but I'm just like, that's so weird.
Or horror, psychological thrillers.
I like psychological thrillers.
I
figured out that they're my favorite kind of scary movie in quotation marks.
I don't like blood, guts, and gore. I want to be like terrified when I go home and shut the lights off at night.
Although this movie would have been really good put in scary format, like actual scary.
Like actually scary.
Yeah. You know the movie Passengers with Chris Pratt and Jennifer Lawrence?
Yeah.
They fucked up on that movie. I love that movie. I'll watch that movie all the time.
I didn't love it, but it's good.
Yeah, they should have made it
watchable.
horror. They should have made it a horror movie.
Like Very Sunshine.
Yeah, where she just finds out she woke up, like, and it was a scary aspect of it, not the, like...
love aspect of it?
Not where she, like, forgives him in the end and they get together and they, like, save the day. No, like, it should have been her finding out...
And then, like, slowly it, like, eats away at her and goes crazy. And he kind of is, like, wanting to keep her.
And it had nothing to do with having to shave the ship. Shave
the ship, it's Harry. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. I think because, like, Sunshine, you like Sunshine a lot. I don't know that I watch past, like... I've watched that movie a million times. I don't think I can tell you what really happens.
You change the channel in the middle of your shows. You're like, God damn it, Lissa! Quit fucking making this movie! What did I do? I put an alert on every time it came on.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's good. I think I've seen bits and pieces of it enough that I can kind of piece together what happens in that movie.
It's just the part.
But I think I've seen every Chris Evans movie up to a certain point, and then I kind of go, I'm bored with him.
The part where they find out that dude's on board. I know that you should know, and it like shouldn't have been shocking to me because like what else would have been
Doing
the
that?
purpose
Yeah.
of hooking up to the other ship, or like what would have came from it? But I'm just like, when she says negative, there are 5 people breathing. I'm like, no,
Yeah.
chills every time.
It's very,
shit out of me.
Yeah.
He's just sitting in that room, just bright as shit, his skin burning off. Like,
He's like, this is fine.
this feels good to me. I love it. I am the closest to the gods that I have ever been.
My retinas are no longer
Right?
exist, but we're good.
He should not have been able to see.
I smell like barbecue.
Looked like barbecue.
Oh my god.
Straight roasting.
Oh my god. Straight roasting. As opposed to that gay roasting.
No.
Isn't gay roasting just throwing shade?
A gay person?
No, throwing shade. Never mind.
You got me. Straight over my head. Gay over my head.
Hey, speaking of that, are we getting Bros?
Yes.
Are we watching Bros?
I want to watch Bros.
Okay, good.
I got a heads up about Bros. If anybody complains, we don't pick the movies, and you get to choose what movie you want to watch. So don't complain to us about.
If you are mad that Bros is
Basically.
playing, just fucking get your head out of your ass
Don't
and
go
live your
watch
life.
it. You don't have to go watch it. But that's what he said. If anybody like, why'd you get that movie? We're supposed to say,
Because there's
we
lots
don't
of gays
choose
in
the
town,
movies,
bitch.
and because we love the gays. And if you don't want to see it, you do not have to see it. Every person gets to choose what movie they want to see.
Yeah.
And we just
You don't have to pay for it and come to it, bitch.
like at all. And
You know it's going to be a Karen.
complaining about it would literally do nothing for anybody. I'm
But
not
you know what? I
anticipating
actually
in our
don't
town
think
anybody
our town
complaining.
is going to do that
Yeah,
because the reason
me
why
too.
I asked you about
I don't
it
think they'll complain.
was because someone on the BuzzFeed was like, how do we get this movie to come play? If we
Yeah.
said, like, if we get so many people, will the owner bring it? And I said, well, I don't know if it's on the schedule or not. I'll find out.
Yeah.
And then that's when you said yes. And I said, as of right now, yes, we are getting it. They were like, there was like 3 or 4 people, one of them being your nemesis, was pretty excited about it.
Ugh.
So
Is she
I think
even
it's
gonna come?
Probably not.
No, she ain't.
Or she'll make sure it's when you're not here.
She better not.
Or she'll do it when you are here just to be like, hello,
I'm gonna
bitch.
tell her to leave.
Don't do it. we
Yeah,
need the
no.
money.
Hell no. Not hers. We don't need her money for shit. I'll pay for the ticket that she was gonna buy. And
then
not go watch
And then are we
it.
going to watch Smile? Is Smile coming tomorrow too?
Yeah, we're gonna Smile and Bro. Oh shit. Who's coming tomorrow? I gotta build them.
Oh, shit. Okay,
That's
I guess
okay.
we're done.
I got all day tomorrow. In the morning. Not all day, just daytime.
Well, don't we have a 3 o'clock or a 4 o'clock
No,
show?
tomorrow's Thursday.
Well, sometimes we have them on Thursday.
Not
But was that
all.
only during the summer?
Yeah. Well, just the one. Yeah, just during some.
Okay. Well, anyway.
For like the major movie, you know, Spider-Man. That didn't come out in summer.
That 100% did not come out in the summer.
Came out in Christmas.
I guess we're not going to do industry talk anymore. We're going to leave you.
Bye-bye.